Alright, here's the first step. Got everything in the box. Here's the cylinder. Filthy, but pretty nice. Of course, all this is going to go away. We'll mill all that off. Put a block on it so we can put a big carb. Here's the piston. Piston looks pretty good. Ring's good. It's not perfect, but that's what we're going to go with because we're going to be twisting on it pretty hard when we get it done. Looks good. The ring still looks thick. What's sticking out of it don't look like it's worn real bad. We might go ahead and ring it though, just because. Look how much oil is on this thing just from what little bit I run it. That's Red Armor 40 to 1. That's what I run in everything that's running gas in it. Ported, not, whatever. Beautiful oil coating. Look how slick it is inside. Here's our gasket. Case gasket, or cylinder gasket rather. It's stuck on me a little bit, but I mean it's still usable if I need to. But you can see though that it's set up to case feed, but the cylinder is not. It will be after I'm done with it, but it is not right now. We're going to hog all that. You can see the lines where the gasket was. We're going to get all that out of there. Get it case fed. We'll blow everything out on this cylinder. This thing will have a ton of intake, ton of transfer, super high exhaust. Just what they like to go fast. I still gotta get the oil pump out of it yet. I gotta pull it out of the vise and get the oil pump out, and then split it. Other than that, this is just kind of an update. See it down to a carcass. Ain't nothing left of it. Alright. See you back in a minute on the next clip. Alright. Back for a little bit. Y'all excuse me, I've been a little under the weather, but I'm trying to get some stuff done. I got everything cleaned up. Got this all cleaned up too. Stripped the rest of the way. I did decide I'm not going to split these cases. I looked at the bearings, and the bearings look really nice in it. I think I am going to put some new seals in it though. I'll have to pull that worm off of the crankshaft there. It's got a continuous oiler with a press-on worm, so I'll have to measure this on the shoulder, off the shoulder for the depth. Make sure I get it set back at the right depth, because it will shred. These little plastic worm gears, if you get depth off in them much, so they need to be back as close as you can get them to where they go. That goes for anything that's got a metal worm gear that's pressed on the crankshaft. Always measure those before you pull them off. That way you can put them back where they go. But I'll get that pulled off and put some new seals in this thing. But I just threw the covers on it yesterday, looking to see kind of how it was going to lay out, and this thing is going to be tight. There's not much room under these covers, and it is just not much at all. This thing's really compact, really flat on the back. And there's how much room I got from the back of the cylinder to the filter cover, and I got to get an intake block and a carb on that, and still have enough room back here to get it all in. But yeah, pretty tight. I think I can get it in there though. I think it's gonna fit. It's just gonna be tight. I am gonna be using a WB-37 on this one as well. Nice big carb, but it's gonna be tight in there. We'll get it in there though. I got us some material here for intake block. Should be plenty. I'll probably make 2 out of that. Cut that in half. I'm getting ready to start milling on this cylinder. This thing had a broken exhaust bolt in it, and it kind of wallered around and let the muffler leak and stuff. So this flange is pretty rough. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run a end mill over it and just skim it off, just as little as I can take off of it and clean it up. And that'll clean that surface up, and that'll give me a flat surface, so that when I flip this thing over here in a minute, after I get done doing this, to mill that intake off, I'll have a nice flat surface to work off of that's parallel to that. And then after I get this thing out of the mill, I'll be cutting this head off. I'm going to be cutting it right here below that fin. This is going to be the top fin. So all these got to go on the intake side to get the block to sit flat. And then we'll bolt the top of the block through that fin. That'll be the only fin left on this side of that one. So, alright, we'll get this thing going here, and I'm going to do this right here off camera, but I'm going to flip it back on whenever I go to cut the intake off. So, y'all hang tight. Alright, here we go on the intake. I took a little nip at it, but nothing much yet. We're about to get it done now though. There's the first pass. I'm just roughing this off right now. I'm gonna rough the rest of this off and then come back and make a final pass over it. But here's where we are right now, and I'll bring you back whenever I get either close to done or done milling it. I don't know. We'll just see how it goes. Alright, I got the whole shelf knocked off of it. Here's what it looks like. I only had one casualty, believe it or not. That fin right there. Probably could have avoided that had I been milling back the other way and climb milled it. But it pushed on it and pinged it off of there. That's alright though. We'll fix that. Probably come in here and trim some of these fins back anyway. I usually don't like to leave them little sharp points. Knock the edges off all the inside and the outside edges too. Roll them corners over. That way it ain't cutting you, poking you. Grab it and pick it up. What I'm also going to do is, this was the impulse passage. I'm going to tape that shut and I'm going to fill this hole up. And I'm going to fill this void right here up with epoxy to give me a little better sealing surface on the top. As you can see, that ain't much there. Not much there at all. So I'm going to lay some epoxy down in this thing and let it dry before I move the mill. I got the mill set to the height and I'll put epoxy in it, and then I'll before I move this thing in the mill, I'll come back and skin the epoxy I'm about to put in it back off. That way it's all the same height. It's all level and straight. And I come in and undercut the back of this fin because this is what my block's going to sit up against, and I'll have 2 bolts coming in from the top side of this fin. That gives me my top blocks, and then I'll come here in the bottom on this base and I'll drill it here right beside this hole. I'll drill here and I'll drill over here next to this one, and that'll hold the bottom of my block on. That's literally all that holds these blocks on. They're hard to get sealed up, but that's the only real option you got, because you can't put anything where the bolts and stuff are coming through, and there ain't really enough meat in these sides right here to be drilling and tapping. So, and then those bolts get in the way of your carb bolts, so that's kind of the choice you're left with is that. My other saw's done like that, and that seems to be working fine. So that's the way we'll do this one too. But anyway, I think I'm gonna go ahead and post this video up, and then there'll be more to come. I'll probably work on this thing some more today, get some more of this done, and I'll just keep popping back in and showing the progress on it. But you guys have a good one. See you on the next one.